So the San Antonio Spurs have been a model of consistency as well as success for a long time. Now Tim Duncan is no longer there, but a roster of Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge and Tony Parker, Greg Popovich still being there. They're still a hell of an organization and a hell of a team and definitely a title contender. Now us young, athletic, energetic, probably about a year or two ahead of schedule, Denver Nuggets, we're the new talk of the NBA, okay? Last time we checked, we were on the top of the Western Conference, even though we're not having an otherworldly season. And we just went through one of the teams that is among the top of the West with us, the Phoenix Suns. I mean, we proved to be just a little better. Of course, Emmanuel Mudiay had part to do with that. But now we got to go through the Spurs, okay? And so now we can discuss some of the matchups. Tony Parker, for example, I've already mentioned, I think Mudiay is going to be fine on Tony Parker. Now, of course, Tony's a savvy player who just finds ways to kind of get open, find the open seam, things like that. But Kawhi Leonard, on the other hand, this is going to be a problem, okay? We have multiple guys who I think can play defense. Justin Anderson, Gary Harris, KJ McDaniels. Doesn't change the fact that Kawhi's really good and he has multiple ways of scoring. So we're going to try different guys on him, and hopefully I can just find one that kind of works. As for LaMarcus Aldridge, I mentioned before that I do like the idea of running a Thad Young pick and pop against Aldridge, but at the same time, I also want to see what would happen if we match San Antonio in terms of size and we go with a double big man lineup of Yusuf Nurkic at power forward as well as Thon Maker at center. Can it work, or will we just look like a bunch of idiots? I don't know, but I do know it's us and Spurs in Denver. Finally. We finally have a home game. Isn't it just shocking to see? Now, I set all that up and we have to start in about the second quarter because there's a decent amount of things that are going to happen here, so we got to address it. And how did KJ end up on LaMarcus Aldridge? This isn't good, but, well, maybe it is good because LaMarcus just decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to run over someone in the front row, so I guess I'll take the possession back the other way. And then I know for a fact that Kawhi Leonard was not defending Gallinari, because if he was, I probably would have said, you know what, Gallo, you're not going to get the ball right now. And we just left. I didn't see the name of who that was. It's probably someone who's been on the Spurs for a long time, but whatever. We got lucky with a miss. And then Yusuf Nurkic, who has been good for us coming off that bench, he forces what looks like Kyle Anderson to get off of KJ. Hey, depending on what day of the week it is, KJ McDaniels can definitely hit that outside shot. And now I set up that whole thing about how great the Spurs are, and while Kawhi Leonard makes it kind of close, we're up 6 points at the half here, so what the hell? What am I doing? What are my intentions with this? Am I setting up some close fourth quarter? I probably am. I don't know. It's not like I watched this footage back before I actually commentate over it. Holy hell, Thad Young got rejected and then some by LaMarcus Aldridge. You notice Gallinari's playing defense right here? That's never a good thing. Maybe it is a good thing because he actually blocked somebody right here, but then 2K hit me with the cheese. Ooh, that was some mean cheese. Cheddar, Swiss, what was that? I actually threw the ball back in bounds when it was going out of bounds. Danny Green caught it, hit the three. Kawhi tied it up. Now we're tied at 66. I think you can start to see what I'm going with by, kind of skipping the first quarter. You got to set these things up, guys, okay? And then Danny Green's got it, and Kawhi, and that he was not exactly open. Nigel Hayes got in Kawhi's face pretty well, and then Kawhi said, listen, bro, I like what you're doing, but I'm just going to make this shot. And let's see if Tony Parker can, oh, wow. Oh, you see, Tony Parker actually got by Mudiay, which I was surprised by, but then Thon Maker had to show him, listen, you really don't want to come in the paint against me, but I guess Tony Parker didn't exactly get the memo because he drove in anyway, so props to him. But I said that I don't think he can defend Mudiay, and I mean, he's not really going to be able to play defense on him unless he's fouling him, so we'll definitely go to that. Okay, you got to attack that in the fourth quarter. 5-point lead, and once again, just clear the floor, Let Moutier he's just too big for Tony, okay? Y'all probably should have put Kawhi on Moutier. I mean, what are you doing, Pop? Come on. Popovich in real life would have conducted some, like, weird backwards algorithm to figure out a way to stop Moutier, but the Pop in 2K just says, put our point guard on him because that's what we do. So I gotta go to the free throw line once again, and you'll see Moutier, he's continuing his near MVP performance, you could say, for this season. He gets by Tony Parker again. So that's what I get for setting up this San Antonio Spurs matchup. We win by 4 points, boys. But you know what? I wasn't completely satisfied with that. We won a game at home. Good for us. Moutier had a fantastic game. But you're going to see in just a little bit, we then head to San Antonio not much longer after this game, only 2 games later. And here we are. Can we continue this once again? Well, LaMarcus Aldridge has proven to me that perhaps he's a bit more nimble on defense than I thought. I mean, I never thought he was like Greg Monroe stuck in quicksand status. But I didn't know he was able to move around the floor like that to deflect the pass. So that surprised me, okay? And then you're going to see here, the same thing happens. LaMarcus Aldridge just stealing my passes in the passing. I can't do anything. No matter where I move the ball to, it's a problem. And then you see LaMarcus open here. Hey, newsflash. He's really good. And we may have kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit found a way to deal with him in Denver. We kind of lost it when we went back to San Antonio, man. Last little ditch effort. Thad Young open. That's off. So we're 1-1 against the Spurs, okay? We won at home. They won at home. And perhaps this will be an interesting thing throughout the season. Look, we're probably going to go on some sort of playoff run, whether it's second round, conference finals, whatever. We're going to have to deal with San Antonio, and it's not going to be easy. It will not.